Okay, Assalamualaikum semua. Macam biasa, kita kembali semula ke dalam gameplay Vampyr. Saya Manggans Layan Sejong. Okay, kali ini kita akan proceed kepada bring back the wallet to its owner. Kita cari. Adakah ini owner dia? Owner dia dekat luar, Milton dekat luar. Saya lupa.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough.
Ini bukan yang perempuan yang kita jumpa tu ke?
Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're the lady who saved me that night. Before vanishing into thin air.
Dia adalah vampire perempuan ini.
I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury.
Lady Ashbury.
I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apa kita pun jawab? I'm glad to see you.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
I believe you.
The world would be a better place
Kita
if it
buat
were
baik lah
cared
dengan
for
perempuan,
by women like you.
You make me blush.
Cia.
I am simply a necessary evil.
I have questions about vampires.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need weight.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Okay.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion.
Oh,
I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy.
okay.
I must refuse his most recent demands.
Kita perlu jawab ini. What do you want from me?
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
It's not a vampire. It's
Who
you.
would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
Okay, why not solve this yourself?
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid.
Okay, okay, I
Violence
understand.
has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk.
Yelah.
The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I will take care. Is it true? I take care of it. Is it true? I take care of it. Okay, I'll take care.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Alright. I take your word. And now I want to meet remember what this is on.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Wah, you bribe aku
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Harriet Jones. Okay, this one. Okay, this. The second is your partner in crime. Your relationship.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Mamba despair.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Alright, I understand for you. So, no, so it's your partner.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
You make me so great with you. Oh, your medical reputation.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues,
Mediocre.
Milton?
Mediocre.
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
We
We
lack
lack words.
So excuse me.
So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I understand. Looks like I can mesmerize him. Let's
Goodbye, Milton.
For now. Fox sama.
Hey, Doc.
Okay, no. Okay, this I have a question.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
That market.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Since he also is not full on hints, so I should kill him right now.
We are horrific liars.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Oh, we don't have any hint. Yeah, this
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Okay.
Goodbye,
thank
Dr.
you.
Tippett.
Let's ask for another one. Oh, Gwen.
The dark. Stop following me.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tippett presses.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett
so
does not think of
romantic.
you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
So let's go. You're like London.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard.
Kenapa dia pandang macam tu ya?
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I think saya dah tanya soalan ni. Ni rumors.
Have you heard rumors of anything underhand going on here at the hospital?
No, Doctor. Never.
Ai. Kenapa dia warna kuning kalau dia tak nak jawab soalan ni?
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professional.
Most
Oh,
of
kita dah tanya.
It would be...
Kita dah kita perlu tanya lah tadi.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Anyone stand out?
Is there anyone
Anyone
that
that
stands
stand
out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Oh. Oi, kalau aku tak tekan tadi tu rasanya tak dapat ish pasal. Okay, ni dah tahu.
Goodbye,
Okay,
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Baik, kita dapat apa ni? Kita dapat hint berkenaan dengan si Tipin apa nama tadi? Tu Tippett. Mana ada hint baru?
Horrifying epidemic.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Kita cari. Yeah, you are started.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Oh, segitu pula. Okay. Dan tadi dah
Goodbye,
tanya.
Dr.
Okay.
Tippett.
Ni dah boleh hisap lah ni. Tapi tak nanti lah. Tak boleh vampire. Mati anak orang kalau kita hisap. Kita yang mati, bukan dia yang mati. Sekejap. Opium.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from
Ah,
that category.
apa ni? Okay. Adakah kita kena ikut ni? Oh, dia nak jumpa pipa Hawkins.
It's here again.
Bukan nak pergi tempat mana? Dia nak pergi mana ni? Kita ikut dia, kita ikut dia. Apa tu?
It's locked, all right.
Macam mana kita nak tengok? Oh, saya tahu. Tahu. Cepat. Nanti kali hilang. Kan betul. Ya, boleh nampak. Wah, apa yang dia buat ni? Senyap ni.
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time?
Dadah apa?
That is better. I will make it through one more night.
Dah ambil macam suplemen tu. Dan kita masuk balik. Itulah. Orang cakap kalau nak main game ni dia kena fikir 2 kali sebab sekali main dan cerita terpanjang.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Huh?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Oi, macam.
I see. Have you ever heard of
Cotard
Cotard
syndrome.
syndrome,
Cotard
Miss
syndrome.
Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules
Wah,
Cotard.
dia ni
The
kita ni
affected
jawab
patients are
punya-
delusional. They
punya apa
believe
ni?
that they are putrefying,
Punya
that they
fakta.
are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
The back, your passion.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Your enemies.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Will take care of you.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry.
Cakap orang
These
gila.
people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Wah. Lu dapat mission eh? Okay, kita buat. Oh, ni mission baru. Okay. Why you ready?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Betul lebih baik. Memang tak. Tak apa, kita mesti cek hint dulu.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reed.
So, goodbye.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
So, kita jalan lah. Relax, darah ni daripada tadi tak rapat.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Ni ada apa-apa
Good
baru.
evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Have you heard rumors of underhand dealings in the hospital?
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything,
Miss Jones.
especially what she shouldn't.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain,
Oh, macam
it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world.
This
It
is much
seems
more
much
fun
more
than the
fun
real
than the
one.
real one.
Okay, kita tengok.
Have you heard
Alah, dah tekan. Ni dah.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't...
Dah tak. Oh, belum dah tanya.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Mari kita biar dulu.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn.
The pain. It's there again.
Siapa lagi tak tahu? Macam mana nak pergi situ? Oh, dia belakang.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Oh, dah boleh masuk.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
Oh, ni kita punya mission macam ada barang. Support! Support! Okay.
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please come down. Kita cakap baik-baik.
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones?
Anak with David Jones.
Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
You like gossip?
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
Tuga.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
Not about medical.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
Tuga.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Habis pun dia cakap.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
tak cakap lagi
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Wah, your love in London?
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Okay, tell me about yourself. Oh, dah tak cakap about tell me about yourself.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Tell me about experiments. Eh?
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Sekarang, what made you choose that career?
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
I'll be glad to have you. Kita kan cakap baik lah.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Oi, cakap dengan yakin.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You
seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
You need my help?
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Yes, dapat investigation baru. Memang betul kena banyak bercakap ya guys. Pergi main game ni, korang kena banyak sabar tu. Nak escape pun tak faham. Wah, ada duhin, okay.
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Let's cakap pasal Miss Jones ni.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Oh, gitunya.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Okay, kita dapat Harvey Fiddick punya ni. Dia masing.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Okay. Sekarang kita pergi ke semua main quest Coba kita pergi ke ni.
Good evening, like the book.
Habiskan dulu.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Your wife died because of you?
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Weh, nak makan kita isap darah kita.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Sorry, my friend. Yeah, aku dapat mangsa pertama.
All I wanted was to go back to work. To take care of my children.
Sorry you ended up like playing a cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife.
Apa tu?
You don't mind if I search your pockets,
Wah.
do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables.
Wah, jahat
I will not forget you, sir. And I thank you for your generous donation.
Wah, jahat tu yang mutu Sami. Okay, dah nampak mangsa baru. Alah, dah baca tekan. Saya tertekan tadi. Mana tadi? Ah, ni. Okay. This is how things in the city. Okay lah. Saya rasa sampai kat sini dulu lah saya buat untuk gameplay kali ni. Nanti kita sambung lagi untuk gameplay yang akan datang untuk part yang seterusnya. Okay, saya Manggans dan Sejo. Okay, bye.